G'day. My name is Ron Wood, and I'm the president of the board of the Wildwood Conservation Foundation. I would like to thank our planner Ross Markey for his work to bring our project before the Planning Commission with his recommendation for approval. Our objective is to get your approval for our zone change and retreat center use permit request so we continue on as we have for the past 20 years, being a good steward of the land, holding spiritual retreats, and contributing to Sonoma County's economy. As a bit of background, our mission statement guides all the work that we do. The Wildwood Conservation Foundation was established to conserve the beauty and tranquility of Wildwood and to use the land to nourish the physical and emotional human spirit. Wildwood is a sanctuary created and sustained by gay men for healing, transformation, and spiritual growth. Wildwood is a rustic retreat center nestled amongst redwood groves on 210 acres in West Sonoma County. The retreat center is tucked into the southeast corner of the property. The original house was built on top of Spring Mountain in 1946. In the 70s, the property grew into a sanctuary for gay men and their allies. The 80s were less joyful. As the AIDS crisis raged, Wildwood became a sanctuary for a different reason, as an AIDS hospice. Men chose to leave hospitals in the city to pass peacefully in the redwoods. Wildwood began catering to groups supporting AIDS and end-of-life care. Groups like Shanti, Stop AIDS, ARIS, and the AIDS Fund brought AIDS patients to Wildwood to spend their last days on Earth as peacefully as possible. I can recommend the documentary We Were Here, which chronicles how AIDS epidemic impacted our community. The opening scene in the film shows a group of ailing men in wheelchairs in the gardens at Wildwood. 20 years ago, funds were raised to purchase the property, and the nonprofit Wildwood Conservation Foundation was founded. In 2003, Wildwood deeded a conservation easement to the Golden State Land Conservancy, a locally based land trust. The conservation easement spells out the foundation's responsibilities for the stewardship of the land, that Wildwood Retreat Center would be run as a nonprofit, generating enough positive cash flow to support the management of the land. So where are we now? As part of our request to rezone from ag to timber, we prepared our forest management plan. Our forester, Matt Green, worked to incorporate our Golden State Land Conservancy responsibilities into our forest management plan. Our plan also highlights areas for continued redwood habitat restoration. This builds on the work done by our partner, Forest Unlimited, who have planted 3,000 redwood seedlings at Wildwood over the past 10 years. Wildwood is a good neighbor. One of the things we learned during the Walbridge fire is that communications fail. Soon after PG&E power was cut, the cell towers also failed. After the fire, Wildwood was approached by Tony Goodwin, who was working to set up a GMRS radio repeater for the Ranch Radio Network to provide communications during power outages and fires. Wildwood now hosts a GMRS, which is General Mobile Radio Service or two-way radio repeater, which has become the prototype for a future hardened Connex radio station project, which is being led by Director Horvitz of Transportation and Public Works. For community fire safety, Wildwood has agreed to allocate space for CAL FIRE to host emergency water tanks to serve the Upper Old Cazadero Road and Devil's Backbone area. Chief Turbeville of CAL FIRE has surveyed Wildwood and is considering site options for the tanks. Wildwood has always been a resource for firefighters by assuring fire roads remain open. Wildwood has received strong letters of support from our key conservation partners, the Golden State Land Conservancy and Forest Unlimited. Along with them, we ask you to help us reopen the retreat center. Opening will enable Wildwood to fulfill our mission and put us back on the path to financial sustainability. We are near financial disaster because we cannot raise funds to manage this valuable resource. Opening will enable Wildwood to continue to fulfill our commitments to our members, our conservation easement, and our community. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter.